that it is the superconscious, subconscious, or the conscious mind that is talking to them. Which one should we be listening to? Okay, they're all there for a reason. It's not as though one is obsolete, because they're all, it's all interacting energies all the time. So one is not more important than the other, etc. What there is the need to do, because we often become heavily reliant on the conscious mind, is to realise that there are the other aspects of ourselves to utilise at any one time. If we were only using, for instance, the superconscious element of how we relate to something, then we wouldn't be able to filter it through our own systems. So the conscious mind sort of gives us that feeling that we're individual. Okay, so it gives us a feeling of that sort of separate type of energy. So it gives us that feeling of. So if we were operating just from the superconscious world, we probably wouldn't have our definition of the self in terms of how we discover emotion through a physical body. So how do we know which one is talking to, which one should we be listening to, and which one is talking? The conscious mind tends to be very loud. Okay, so this part is it's quite loud, it's quite upfront, and it also operates from a position of fear. So you'll quite often find that when the conscious mind is trying to express something, it's right up here in our thoughts. So it's in the front of the mind, and it's quite frantic with them. It becomes quite frantic with what we should be doing, how we should be going. It exaggerates things and brings fear into our world. With the subconscious, what we tend to find that is, if you imagine that maybe your conscious world is here, and oh gosh, I'm showing you very well. So if you imagine that your conscious world is here, imagine that this part is behind. So what it's then doing is, the subconscious is then a slightly quieter voice, and it's got quite strong direction. It's part of our own internal world, so it's got quite a strong directional impact. So quite often, so you've got this bit here, so this has got your conscious world, and you've got this bit here. So what happens is, quite often the subconscious information comes from further back in our awareness than our loud conscious mind that's up front. So the subconscious is often a little bit more subtle, and it can pass information through our own internal voice or feelings. So it will pass on information through those mediums. Now, the superconscious, how that communicates with us, so that's all that is kind of feel, is when we just know something. So we have that sort of knowing feeling, or we're tuning into something before it's occurred. So for instance, that would be getting a feeling that something is about to occur before it occurs, tuning into kind of universal vibrations, so sort of having that kind of premonition feel that something is about to occur, something's about to happen. That's linking into the superconscious in terms of the group kind of consciousness, but that's not something. It doesn't show as a sort of loud fear. It will show as quite a subtle feeling, but it's got a strong knowing element with it, and it's often that feeling that we think, oh yeah, I knew that was the case, but somewhere deep within, I sort of knew it. I had this really strong feeling of it. That's your link with the superconscious. Okay, we don't always filter the information 100% correctly through the rest of the layers of ourselves, because we've got bits of ourselves almost in the way. Okay.